Hi everyone, it's Kenny here from the Tolbooth, and in this how-to video I'm going to be talking about how to keep creative. So I don't know about you, but during all the kind of coronavirus lockdowns and restrictions on what we would normally do with our lives, I found it quite difficult to keep creative. This can happen at any time though, even when the world is quote unquote normal. Writer's block is something that just comes to everyone at some point. But luckily there's a lot of techniques out there to try and break through it. It's worth pointing out right at the top that sometimes if the creativity isn't flowing, it's best just to leave it. That's the kind of main advice, is don't force it. You end up maybe just kind of feeling bad about yourself and your ability to be creative and do what you love, whether it's music, art, or whatever. And you're never really going to produce anything of value either if you force it. But here are a few techniques to maybe just change up how you approach creativity that might help you through a period of writer's block. So this one isn't necessarily what you think, although daily exercise will kind of probably help clear your mind and get your ideas together pretty good too. But there are a few artists out there who swear by this idea of creativity being like a muscle that you have to exercise in order for it to be strong. There's some great quotes, first from awesome guitarist Teresa Wayman of the band Warpaint. And the second one from Fool's guitarist and kind of main songwriter Yanis. Yeah, I couldn't find his quote. He definitely said at some point something about force himself to write lyrics every day, and most of them are terrible. And but eventually, he'll come out with something that's good. And a bunch of those ideas have gone on to be in his huge hit albums. So maybe try setting yourself something like a daily task. Maybe make it last a week or so. Maybe you'll write 8 lines of a verse or a poem every day. Maybe you'll take a photograph every day, write a chord progression every day, something like that. See what comes out. Don't put pressure on it, and just laugh off if what you make is totally rubbish. Getting external input can get you out of a rut as well and push you to think differently. Someone else's approach can inspire you, can show you how the simple chord progression maybe that you've made that you think is pretty average can actually become pretty exciting with someone else's drum beat or guitar line on top of it. And it might totally then just send you off in a course writing some lyrics and a melody that you would never have otherwise came up with. So maybe try sending a quick recording across to a friend. Why not put something on like a USB stick and just post it with some notes to a friend? Everyone likes receiving mail. It'll change things up a wee bit. And this can be about getting feedback as well. So honest words from someone that you trust or that you respect as a kind of peer and a musician could give you some great insight into possible kind of positive changes for your music. So don't be afraid to hear feedback. This one's some excellent advice from Mark, the Tolbooth studio engineer, if you've met him before. He once said to me that you should just do whatever creative stuff you can do, that you're able to do at the time. So don't drive yourself nuts trying to write that vocal melody that you've been desperate to just sort and finish. If it's not coming, try something completely different. Maybe just try writing some poetry, maybe do some photography, go out into the street with your phone, take some street photography, see what comes of that. Maybe try writing some short stories instead of lyrics to change up how you use language. Maybe do some art. Find a way of kind of being creative without forcing yourself down narrow pathways. Or you could even use the time to work on another aspect of your music. So if the music itself isn't coming, create a website or update your online profiles. Think about artwork, maybe make a really simple budget music video. Just find that creative buzz elsewhere, find some joy in it and just follow it. What is it that you normally do first when you write a song? Is it writing the lyrics, getting some chords? Do you have a melody? Just swap the order around a little bit and see what new stuff comes out of that. It'll be tricky at first, but keep trying. Or maybe look at what part you do last when you write a song. Is it naming the song? Is it worth maybe naming the song first before you have anything else and trying to write to that? Having to create something out of nothing can completely change your creative process. Try stripping what you do right back. Maybe make a whole recording using just one instrument. Have a look at Pump Up the Jam tutor Becky's 30 words and 3 chords challenge. Maybe write a handful of songs that all last under a minute and a half in length. Try removing all your effects pedals. Or maybe try and write a verse with every line starting with the same word. There's countless songs out there as well that have been written about books or inspired by art, and vice versa too. So maybe explore these other art forms and see what impact they have on you. Find something that makes you feel or think something in particular and let that influence your writing. Another thing you can do to help shake things up is literally change how you live out your day. Wake up maybe at a different time from normal. Maybe wake up and leave the house straight away. Go and get some exercise, go and see the world a bit. Maybe go for a walk in the evening. Pack your lunch up and go and eat it outside one day. Go and see the world pass you by. Cycle your bike to like a different area of the town that you live in. Maybe try doing your songwriting at a weird point in the day as well. The last thing you do before you go to bed, or maybe the first thing you do when you get up, grab that notepad. So there's a few ideas anyway to get you started. It can be tough when something's stopping you from doing, something creative that usually brings you loads of joy and satisfaction. It can be so frustrating. And it's weird just now as well because there's so much of songwriting is about people and is about how people live their lives, how you live your life, and a lot of that's changed or kind of on hold just now. So it's definitely difficult. So don't get yourself too down about it. And that most important piece of advice, don't force it as well. As hard as it might be to resist going back to try your luck again at the keyboard or whatever, if these tips don't help, maybe just take a step back and come back to it whenever the creativity comes back. It usually arrives unannounced with no explanation of where it's been. Very frustrating. But it happens to us all. In the meantime, just believe that it will come back. Good luck.